Today on Inquirer, President Bongbong Marcos sees progress in fishing talks with China.
Yung latest na report ay sinundan na lang. Hindi na kagaya ng dati na talagang hinaharang. So there's a little progress there.
Mayon Volcano still restive. Lava flow expands to 2.5 kilometers. Department of Health Chief Ted Herbosa says Philippines may run out of nurses in 3 to 5 years if exodus is not addressed. And ABS-CBN's It's Showtime set to air on GMA's GTV starting July. Good evening. President Bongbong Marcos sees progress in fishing talks with China. To tell us more, here's Jean Mangaluz reporting live. Jean?
Neil, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. called it a little progress after another incident with China as it no longer blocked the Philippine civilian patrol vessel and merely tailed it. Marcos Jr. said that coordination in talks with China are ongoing, saying that these things do not come easily.
Yung latest na report ay sinundan na lang. Hindi na kagaya ng dati na talagang hinaharang. So there's a little progress there. Kaya ang BIFAR merong projection na lalaki ang huli because nabawasan nga yung nabigyan ng pagkakataon ng ating mga farmers. That is because we are continuing to talk to the Chinese government, to President Xi in every way.
He pointed to the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources projection that there will be more fishes caught on their continued talks with China. According to Marcos Jr., he told Chinese President Xi Jinping that discussion about fisheries should be prioritized over territorial issues, as they will not be able to decide on the matter right away. Marcos Jr. said that constant communication is key. The Philippine Coast Guard had previously reported that the BIFAR's vessel BRP Francisco Dagohoy was tailed by the Chinese Navy on June 15. That's it from me, Neil. Back to you.
That's Jean Mangaluz reporting live. The Department of Justice clarifies that the cash reward for information on former Bureau of Corrections Director Gerald Bantag and his deputy will only be given if they are convicted. To tell us more, here's Zakarian Sarao reporting live. Zach?
Yes, Neil, the Department of Justice clarified that the monetary reward for the arrest of former Bureau of Corrections Director Gerald Bantag and his deputy Ricardo Zulueta would only be obtained by informants if the two will be convicted. Recall, the DOJ and the National Bureau of Investigation offered a 2 million peso reward for any information that would lead to the arrest of Bantag and another 1 million peso reward for Zulueta. According to DOJ spokesperson Nico Cavano, however, the reward would depend on the two suspects' prosecution, meaning even if informants successfully led Bantag and Zulueta to their arrest, he or she would only be able to obtain the reward if the two are prosecuted. Meanwhile, Cavano admitted that arresting Bantag is quote-unquote a little bit tricky due to his connections with the police. But Cavano explained that the 2 million peso reward on Bantag's arrest was not put up to be an indication of law enforcement's negligence, but rather because of public clamor. He added that while Bantag is acknowledged to have certain connections with the police, it has not yet impeded the DOJ's investigation. According to Cavano, the reward for Bantag's arrest was put up to expedite his apprehension and to streamline the information that they have against him. He said that the reward was financed not through public funds, but by concerned groups and individuals who were quote-unquote interested to keep the case to continue moving forward. It can be recalled that Bantag and Zulueta are currently facing 2 separate cases of murder for the death of beloved inmate June Villamor and broadcaster Percival Mabasa or Percy Lapid. Back to you, Neil.
That's Zakarian Sarao reporting live. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology says Mayon Volcano's lava flow has expanded to 2.5 kilometers. According to Phivolcs, debris from the collapse has spread 3.3 kilometers away from the crater. State volcanologists counted 301 rockfall events, 2 dome collapse pyroclastic density currents, and a volcanic earthquake from 5 a.m. June 19 to 5 a.m. June 20. Phivolcs says the volcano remains to be on alert level 3, where an eruption may occur within weeks or days due to the high level of unrest magma at the crater. Meanwhile, residents within the 7-kilometer radius of the danger zone are advised to evacuate as volcanic hazards are anticipated. Furthermore, civil aviation authorities advise pilots to avoid flying close to the volcano as the summit's ash may be hazardous to aircraft. The prosecution's attempt to use the Sandiganbayan 3rd Division witnesses in another Marcos Sr. crony ill-gotten money case was denied. In a resolution dated June 13, Sandiganbayan junked a motion that would have compelled an officer of its 3rd Division to identify the transcript of stenographic notes containing testimonies of witnesses whom the prosecution were not able to present in the case handled by the 4th Division. The 3rd Division heard civil case number 009, which is about shares bought by former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.'s cronies from the Eastern Telecommunications Phivolcs Incorporated using ill-gotten wealth obtained during the former president's over 2-decade rule. Meanwhile, the 4th Division handles civil case number 0178. The prosecution made this motion because some of the witnesses they want to present have either passed away, cannot be found, were unwilling, or were staying abroad. In a resolution, the anti-graft court said that while the prosecution's purpose for asking the transcript of stenographic notes would be to prove that the witnesses indeed testified, they cannot help but take the view that it would be used as evidence. If used as evidence, it would prevent the defendant's counsel from cross-examining the testimonies as the witnesses cannot be presented physically. The 4th Division maintains that allowing the prosecution to present the testimonies made in civil case number 009 and now would deprive the defendants of the right to cross-examine the witness. Department of Health Chief Ted Herbosa says the Philippines may run out of nurses within a few years if the country does not address the issue of nurses seeking employment overseas. In a radio interview, Herbosa foresees the pool of nurses working in the Philippines to be depleted in 3 to 5 years. Herbosa had proposed tapping around half of those who failed the board exam, with scores ranging from 70 to 74% to address the exodus of healthcare workers. Meanwhile, Senators Risa Ontiveros and Nancy Binay cite the need to further study the proposal of Herbosa to employ unlicensed nursing graduates in government hospitals. Binay says this may help fill the shortfall of medical frontliners and provide them relievers when they're over-fatigued. She likewise pointed out that the need to conduct deep and thorough consultations with stakeholders from the health sector and other allied sectors in the medical field. Meanwhile, Ontiveros notes that in other countries, unlicensed nursing graduates are being given roles in the hospital, albeit not as registered nurses.
Magandang pag-aralan o dapat pag-aralan. Opo, dahil baka may mapag-aralan tayong best practices model sa ibang mga bansa. Pero hindi tayo dapat deadmahin lang ang very valid concerns ng ating mga kababayang pasyente.
U.S. and Canadian ships and planes conduct a search for a submarine that went missing off the coast of southeastern Canada while taking tourists to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, the ships and planes have swarmed the area about 1,450 kilometers east of Cape Cod. Sonar buoys were dropped to monitor a depth of 13,000 feet. The U.S. Coast Guard say there's 1 pilot and 4 passengers on board the vessel that had the capacity to be submerged for 96 hours. However, it remains unclear whether it was still underwater or had surfaced and was unable to communicate. In a statement, the private company that operates the submarine say it was mobilizing all options to rescue those on board. On Sunday, a boat on the surface lost contact with the submarine about 1 hour and 45 minutes after it began diving toward the site of the Titanic's wreckage. ABS-CBN announces that its Showtime will end its noontime run on the Kapatid Network as the variety show moves over to GMA's GTV channel starting July 1. Dale Calanog has the report.
Madlang people, mark your calendars as its Showtime will be making a move to a new home. ABS-CBN through a statement, Madlang people, mark your calendars as its Showtime will be making a move to a new home. ABS-CBN through a statement announced today that its Showtime will be ending its noontime run on the Kapatid Network as the variety show is set to move to GMA's GTV channel starting July 1. While expressing its heartfelt appreciation to TV5 chairman Manny Pangilinan for their content partnership, the Kapamilya Network said that it is declining the 4:30 p.m. time slot being offered for its showtime. In turning down the new time slot for the variety show, ABS-CBN said it values the relationship it built with its audience in the noon time slot. Thus, the management decided to enter into an agreement with GTV to air its showtime from Monday to Saturday at 12 noon. With this recent development, all three programs, TVJ's Dabber Cats on TV5, the revamped 8 Bulaga on GMA7, and its showtime on GTV will go head-to-head as they are scheduled for the noontime slot on their respective channels. This is Dale Kalanog of INQUIRER.net Entertainment.
And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.